Got it.
All right, looks like we're up.
All right. I'm going to see if we get any feedback. Then I'll turn the volume down. Let's make sure here. Hello, hello. Nope. I think it did a good job. It mutes it. YouTube does a good job.
Good.
I had to give it some credit. All right. We are live on YouTube right now. This is Robert Bolden, Live Transformed, and this is WeWednesday because
Woo-hoo!
we are all in this together. And I've got Suzanne joining me here today. Those of you who are new, every Wednesday we'll get on about this time, and I'll share some aha revelation that I've had over the last week. And there are a lot of them this week. It was tough for me to share decide which one. So let's jump right in. It's not so much we tell lies, it's that we live them. Suppose that you believe the lie that you're unlovable. Maybe you had a family breakup, a demonic deposit, a divorce, anything, anywhere, but you believe you're unlovable. If you let that lie into your neurobiology, that lie gives shape to your behavior. Because you don't think you are worthy of love, you let people treat you disrespectfully or demeaning, or you begin to act that way. If you live it long enough, what was false starts to become true. You become that unlovable person and alienate yourself from the very relationships you crave. The good news is this can be cured through the Father, through that relationship with God. So here's the deal. Satan works mostly and most effectively with lies, but he's a crafty liar. 95% that of the lie of what he tells you is the truth. Think back to Adam and Eve, and he would tell them all the truth, but he'd throw in one little thing. Surely you won't die. One little thing to just kind of tap you on the shoulder. He's a master manipulator. He makes that 5% inaccuracy enough to sway you a little bit, or enough to get you going down the path of, well, I know that's true, but there's that one little thing. And he also lies with lies that are mostly true, but not the whole truth. Like, one side of a two-sided conversation or an oversimplification of the complex reality of life. Q, if you've ever heard somebody say, yes, and, or yes, or, that.
Or yes, but.
Yes, but it's a tip-off. It could be Satan putting some kind of little lie in you. And that's the way he works. So when I read this or listened to it, I'm like, that makes, hey, Dan is here too.
Hello.
Dan talking about Satan and how he lies to get us off track. But 95% of what he says is the truth. He'll just mix in about 5% of a little untruth, just enough to get you to go, to sway you a little bit, to get you off the path just a little bit. Right?
Absolutely.
Or he'll also manipulate you a little bit by agreeing and saying, oh yeah, that's true. And,
one of the things that I think when we think of Satan, we think of him in some ways as the father of lies, which he's referred to in scripture. But I think we give him a little bit too much credit sometimes with that title, because we almost equate it with creating truth. But rather than him being the creator of falsehood, he is the distorter of truth. He takes something that God has created and manipulates it and twists it and turns it into something different, rather than being someone who creates something brand new that's
Yeah.
wrong.
Yes.
He
And
takes
that
something that's right.
Yes.
and that
Go ahead,
that
Suzanne.
is all the more reason for us to be grounded in the 100% truth,
Mhm.
right? And not the 95% truth like Robert was talking about,
Mhm.
right?
Yes.
Because God will tell us the truth. The devil will manipulate and deceive and twist and distort, and then we have to choose what we believe. I know
Mhm.
I posted something with y'all recently about a struggle, and then the devil hits at some of our past where things didn't work out so well, right?
Mhm.
And so then says, you see, you see. Like I've been working with someone who we're co-teaching, and they teach differently than me. And like they're a bit more disorganized and chaotic and stream of consciousness and go off on tangents, where I'm neat and orderly and organized. And then I have this fear that when the other person goes off on a tangent, I look bad because it's not going according to plan. Well, no, I don't. That's a lie from the devil. I know what I'm doing. I'm prepared. I'm knowledgeable. I've got it all, but that's the devil playing with you. He's
Mhm.
playing with you.
Yeah, we started this off, Dan, with the comment about an unlovable person, a person who thinks they're unlovable because of
Mhm.
something, a circumstance that happens. And then slowly they start to believe it. And
Mhm.
then slowly they start to act like it. And pretty soon they become unlovable because they believe that little bit of that untruth. Back to what Suzanne said, go back to the truth, which is the word, which is Jesus, the way, all that stuff. That is the truth.
And
Mhm.
and you know what that ultimately ends up with, Robert, is a closed heart, right? Or a hard heart, right? And God tells us don't harden your hearts. And so it takes a lot of courage to open your heart, to be vulnerable to other people, to say, I'm laying myself out there for love, both giving and the receiving, especially if a love relationship has caused pain in the past.
Right.
Jesus did it all the time. You
Mhm.
know, we've been watching The Chosen, and it's just amazing just to watch him and how amidst insults and amidst chaos and amidst people trying to deter him from his path, he's like, I love you and I'm going to keep going. I love you and I have a plan. I love you. I'm on a mission. Thank you for the manure that you threw at me, but I've got places to be, right? And it's just like, okay, there it is. There's the model.
Mhm.
Um, Something that you guys had said a little bit earlier reminded me of when we ground ourselves in the truth, then we're able to spot the lies. I recently came across a description where they were talking about the organization that is in charge of identifying counterfeit money, counterfeit bills,
Okay.
that when they're training them, the person talking about it and describing it was like, yeah, I figured that they'd be learning all about these different types of counterfeit bills and all this
Mhm.
information of how it gets distorted and stuff. And but no, all they do is they work over and over and over again with real money, so that they are so familiar with what's true that they may not be able to describe even why they know it's off or why they know it's not real, but it sends off warning bells because they are so used to working with the real stuff that when the counterfeit stuff comes into play, they're like, no, this isn't it. It doesn't feel right. Doesn't have the right weight. Doesn't have the right color. The smell's off. Something is wrong with this, but I am so familiar with the real stuff that I don't have to be able to identify exactly what's off, but I know what's real.
What an awesome analogy.
That
Mhm.
is perfect. I've been when I'm working out, I'm listening to Caroline Leaf's book, The Mental Mess.
Mhm.
You know, she again emphasized what you focus on, right? That's what your brain will start to adapt, and you'll start to be like that. And I
Right.
just thought, dang, being in the Word every day, that's what I'm doing. Quiet time with God every day in the Word. I mean, I've like tripled the time I'm spending with God every day. So it is, and then reading about Jesus, and so I'm like, woo! I am like naturally, to your point, Dan, if you just study the truth, forget about all the lies stuff, just study the truth. It's just gonna happen. It's just gonna happen naturally.
Right. And then when something comes along, then you're like, that just doesn't feel like the truth.
Mhm.
I think I'll reject that. I'm going to stick with the
Yes.
truth here.
Mhm.
Thank you very much.
Woo! I love it. The
Wow. What
spirit-
are we Wednesday?
this is great, man. The spirit is alive. See, this is why I love community. I mean, this is it right here. Dan drops that analogy bomb, and it just crystallizes everything that we've been talking about. Well, here we go. We've used up another wonderful 15 minutes, actually 16 minutes now. So I just want to thank you for joining. We're getting some play on YouTube. I saw we're getting some views on YouTube over the last couple of weeks as we went
Awesome.
to YouTube. So that's awesome. And I want you to, if you're watching this and you have an aha moment that you want us to discuss, send it to any one of us, send it to me, and we can highlight it on WeWednesday and we can talk about it. Because I think that is what it's all about. If you want to come on and be a part of it, let us know, let me know, and we can get you on. You can be one of the little boxes on this screen here, and we can talk about this stuff, because really that is what it's all about. We know that when two or more together are gathered together in his name, my interpretation is Satan can't do anything. He'll fly in right here, wherever we are, and he'll be like, nope, and he'll just fly right away. Nothing he
Like
can do.
opposite ends of magnets repelling each other.
Yeah. So we're creating that space right here. And I encourage you, as much time as you can spend thinking with another person, that's the best remedy to anything. And then as we've learned today, you'll start to habitualize this stuff. It will go right into your subconscious mind, right? Subconscious wants to do good stuff anyway. Then your unconscious is gonna adapt it, and it's just gonna start to be who you are. You won't have to think about doing good, choosing good anymore. Satan will be rendered helpless, which is what we all are striving for. I think well, he's already lost. What am I talking about? He's already lost the war.
Mhm.
Jesus has already won. All right. Any last words from you two before we wrap up?
I'm good.
All right. Well, until next week, WeWednesday. Join us. We've got Health Summit coming up. We have all kinds of good stuff. Get a hold of us on this video. If you're watching on video, we'll have the links to everything that we do in the notes to this video. Reach out, get involved, get engaged. We're building a community of people who are for you, don't judge you, in harmony with you. And it's a glorious place to be. All right, y'all. Take care.
Amen.
Take
Bye,
care.
y'all.
Good to see you guys.